All right, guys, very windy day today. This is the old front yard of the house. It's technically on the mailbox side. So, say off to the right, we got our avocado tree. I think it's about 6 years old, not producing yet. We're happy about the tree though, we love it. Just to the left of it, in the little dark spot, right about here, we have a whole lot of asparagus coming out of a pot. I mean, it's literally from top of my nail to here in height of asparagus. All this purple stuff on the front is really just for looks, curb appeal. Our big, let's see if I can find this, the big green thing here is all moringas. Pretty much 3 established moringa trees growing. A good old cedar tree here, came with the house. One of our friends who passed on loved the thing, so we've kept it. So let's get a little chit chat going. Those are the big ones. These little trees right here in the foreground and right over here are what we call chaya tree. This is commonly called the spinach tree. These you have to cook. I know we have a big focus on eating raw, but we're also kind of got the prepper mentality here. So these you can cook up, steam them, very yummy. They definitely taste like spinach. I guess if you eat them raw, there's a tinge of cyanide in them, kind of like apple seeds. You don't want to be eating a ton of those things. This is just got to get cut back today. So we are in late September. These are actually planter boxes. You can see this corner here, I think, the wood. But we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planter boxes. I'm just about to get this purple stuff out of here. It's completely taken over. I mean, it's pretty. It is pretty. We're gonna put them over there next to Moss Man, our corner mannequin over there, just to top it all off. I tried to make this little pathway for the neighbor kids. I'm looking at this little rope I got tied off on this avocado tree, and it keeps moving. I'm gonna have to do something with stabilizing this thing. It's been leaning into the wrong direction a bit for us. This tree behind the telephone poles has got to go. Amazingly, it's on my side of the property. Gotta take this thing out. All right, let's go to the back side. So this is a callaloo. Apparently it's popular in Bahama. We have a friend who's a Bahamian, lives in town here, turned us on to this. These aren't the healthiest looking ones right here, but the leaves are edible raw. These stalks are like broccoli, and this is probably the best example. So this just happened to be where I de-seeded the last batch, but this stuff is basically like a broccoli stalk, which I know doesn't sound like yummy because broccoli's got other conifer type stuff growing on it that seems more yummy. But a lot of greens for sure. Both of these are callaloo, and we're gonna cook them up later. I'm gonna cook one of them up later. Actually, Susie's traveling. Here's another one. Becomes a bit prolific, which can be a bit of an issue. So this little bed's been doing nothing. Here's our avocado tree. We've been putting a ton of Mexican sunflower chop and drop right here to get a good pile of nitrogen going. This bush right here is the Mexican sunflower right here. So it's starting to rain on us a bit. So these guys hide the shed, but also provide the ability to get nitrogen in the ground like immediately. And I think I saw some peanut through here. This is our other go-to for nitrogen fixing is peanut bushes. So in here we got peanuts growing. Other highlights. So let's get right into this asparagus. So this is just amazing. So this is literally a little asparagus coming out of our asparagus pot. Apparently this stuff's not the easiest stuff to grow. This is more of that Mexican sunflower chop and drop. But this guy right here is the money asparagus. I'm sure we do a lot more with this pot than we are, but we're just happy as heck that it's growing here. Shooting through this understory a little bit. We got more peanut growing. This bed's gonna get cleared out. At least 2/3 of this I'm clearing out today. I wanted to shoot this before I start working on the winter crops. This puppy right here is a moringa pod coming off our moringa tree. There's a couple over here. These guys are ready to eat. So if you needed to eat something that's like, I don't know what the right word is for it, cleansing zucchini. You get them when they're plump like this, you'd actually harvest this guy right now. I mean, it's pretty big, and you would soak it. You'd probably slice it down the middle lengthwise if you can, or at least soak it. Maybe cut it in 8-inch chops, and it'll absorb a lot more water, become a little bit more yummy. Big time cleanser. If you think you got a need to do some cleansing, it's gonna work. But this moringa tree has been pretty well established, probably like 8 or 9 years. Can't say we're like the master for how to cut this thing. I think we're gonna do a little bit bigger chops when the winter wraps up, for sure. These trunks coming out of the ground over here on the right, literally we had a piece of limb that we stuck in the ground. It had a couple good little pieces on it where you knew it would probably set up pretty well, and it did set up pretty well. Took 2 or 3 years to get to that size. Right now, or the one you're looking at right now, tons of moringa pod growing off of here. So all this green stuff on the ground is all sweet potato. All of this is sweet potato. It's just a giant patch of sweet potatoes. Last year we had 80 pounds harvested of sweet potatoes. Definitely, a family of 4 is probably annual amount of potato we have growing here. So shockingly, I know we typically eat raw, but this is the one potato you can eat these greens raw right now. And matter of fact, I am eating it raw right now. But under the ground, here in the front yard, under the ground we got 80 pounds of potatoes, which is just amazing. A little bit more talk about this Mexican sunflower. So this is a good blind. We're blinding the neighborhood from having to look at our shed and our lovely fence and everything else about our yard people might not want to look at. And they grow flowers. They grow giant yellow flowers. We haven't actually grown this thing long enough or tall enough to do that, but we probably will. These guys closest to the fence are supposed to be the ones we go big with. The ones a little further towards the road, we're trying to go light with. Here's our little lonely peanut plant. All right, so the rest of the story, I have to double check on this, but I think this is star fruit growing up out of this pot. Again, I put a bunch of that Mexican sunflower drop in there just to get more nitrogen going. This thing needs to climb on something, and I'm not too excited about our TP, but this was a piece of moringa stick that we put in the ground, and look at the thing, it's growing leaves. It must have a plant in there by now. But moringa's kind of amazing like that. It'll just grow. This plant, I gotta fix this pot too. This is also, I think it's a star fruit as well. I could be wrong on that. And that is the front yard. That's the tour of the front yard. Obviously, more work needs to be done. I'm just scoot out of here, get a little different angle on it. Hopefully the wind hasn't been too horrible. But that's the front yard on the mailbox side. Hopefully you can get a good feel for it. Yeah, it looks beautiful with the wind blowing, but I'm a little concerned. That's a lot of wind coming off that field. And of course we got Moss Man here, trying to keep everybody informed. Grow gardens, not government. All right, I'm gonna say goodbye on this one. Front yard, 2020, middle of September.